to talk to you about the Diocesan Congregational Development Institute. And as most of you know, there are several people from our congregation that are attending it. Reverend Mary, but she wasn't able to attend the first one because she's in Hawaii, as you all know. Errol and myself. And from San Esteban, there's Reverend Pablo, who's also attending it. As they define it, the Congregational Development Institute is a leadership training program that's focused on developing the spiritual community and organizational life of congregations. They equip leaders to serve their congregations through a highly integrated training experience that engages participants in the issues and dynamics that they face as leaders. It's a program that's for both clergy and lay leaders who desire to transform their congregations by making them stronger, healthier, and more deeply rooted in the Anglican spirituality and more responsive to God, therefore being more effective in their communities. So, this is the definitions that they gave, the definition that they gave us. So, what it is that the diocese is gathering about 3 representatives from each church in the state, and they are doing a training that has worked wonders in other dioceses, like the one in Colorado. All our trainers are from the Diocese of Colorado, and they said that it has completely changed their life in their small communities, and they just decided to share their knowledge. How this works is that we go on a Friday and a Saturday for 8 hours on each day, and then we have 2 or 3 months in between these training courses to implement what we've learned there. Now, sometimes the information that they give us is kind of, just theoretical, and you start wondering, well, this is all great, but what do I do with it? But what I figured is that it's not something that I'm doing with it, or Errol is doing with it. It's not, we don't work together and we change everything. All of us work together. So that's why I wanted to give this presentation, because I go there and I get a lot of information. I'm not going to remember all of it. But what strikes me and what I think can be applied in our community, I want to share with you, because we work together to build this. It's not a 2 or 3 person job. It's something that we all work to achieve. In talking to all the people there, I found that St. Stephen's is actually doing great. We have a lot of ministries that work wonderful. We have a lot of people that like to get involved. We have a lot of children that come to our church. And I was like, well, we don't have any children that come to church. And I was like, well, we have a ton.
Good.
And it's great. And, everyone's talking about average Sunday attendance, and I suppose it's relevant. Ours is quite high. Everyone's like, well, we get 20 people. On a bad day, we get 40. And they're like, well, yeah, you're a big community there in West Valley. And I started seeing it as time went by, and I was there at the CDI, and I said, yeah, we're doing great. But there's always room for improvement. Isn't that true? As they were saying, everyone thought things were doing great, and then Jesus came and messed it up. Jesus brought change. He brought change in the world. And sometimes even we think, yeah, everything's doing great in our church, and then we become lazy, and then things start, not doing so great. So we have to be alert and to always try to improve things. They gave us these wonderful diagrams about how to analyze your church. There was one with the circles where we had, you have like your core people that are there every Sunday, that's like your priest, and maybe a few acolytes. And then you have the bigger circle with people who come once in a while. You have the greater circle with people who come for Christmas and Easter, and then you have the really big circle with people that you care about when they die. And I think I saw them about a couple of times come to church, and then you have all these circles, and then they gave us another one, a really nice triangle that to work on in your church. So when I saw that diagram about the head, so you have the head of the church, that's your priests and your leaders and how you get involved in the community. You have the heart of the church, that's your daily office, your Eucharist, your prayers, the spiritual life of your people. But then you have the hands. And the hands are the ones that do a lot of work, aren't they? So what I've noticed is that on one hand you have all your traditions, your habits in the church, the communal reasoning of the church for how to do stuff. And then on the other hand, you have stewardship. You have the actual manpower to do things. And I think that in all churches in the diocese, that's where they need to work on it. Because I've noticed this about myself. I come to church and I see everything and I think it happens by magic. But it doesn't. There's always a really hard-working and dedicated person that's doing it. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that are doing things and are getting involved in the church and are making a difference and are making every Sunday and every Wednesday and every other day that we come to church a wonderful experience. But for the people who don't get involved, it's great to come and to share in this spirit of Christianity. But if you decide to do get involved, if you have 15 minutes in a week to give to church, that's plenty. You don't have to give more than you have, but you always have a spare that you can give. And I just want to list a few of the ministries that we have here that you can get involved in and help. One of them is the Altar Guild. The Altar Guild is so sneaky sometimes, we don't even notice what they're doing because they come here so early and they light the candles and they prepare the table and they prepare the bread and the wine, and we hardly ever notice, but there's like a house elf that's doing it. And it's wonderful, isn't it? It's wonderful to have everything prepared, but we don't have enough Altar Guild people to do it. So if you feel like you could spare a few minutes in the mornings on Sundays to come early and do it, that would be wonderful. We have the bulletins that Martin has been doing a wonderful job with, and I have been trained to do it, and so has Barbara. But if anyone else is willing to learn, that would be wonderful as well. It's something that you learn once, you're probably going to remember it for years, and if it's needed, it would be a great help. And it's something that you can do from your home. You don't even have to come to church to do it. You just work on your computer. We have coffee hour. That's something, that sometimes seems magical. We finish here at church and we go into the parish hall and there's food. But somebody brings it and somebody cleans up after it. And somebody makes the coffee. So if you feel like you can spare a few minutes there on a few Sundays, you don't have to do it every Sunday. You can do it like 2 or 3 times a year. And it's great. Then we have the food bank. Rick's in charge of it. And you don't have to do much for that either. Just get, an extra can of soup when you go to the grocery store. Get an extra something that's non-perishable. And bring it to church. it can change someone's life. We have lay worship people. You know, if you can read and you're willing to read for a few times here at the pulpit, that would be great. That would be great help. You know, or if you like to dress up in the alls and carry torches or crosses, that would be wonderful as well. You know, you don't even have to dress nice at home because the alls will cover it. We have Sunday school for the children. And they have a lot of fun there. Whenever I ask Olive about it, she talks about raccoons and an intergalactic wormhole. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I want to go sometime. We have Wednesdays of worship, which start with a dinner at 6. And then they're followed by evening prayer, and then they're followed by discussions. You know, Marjorie's been doing a wonderful job cooking for everyone, and I've tried to help. There's always room for help. There's always room for some improvement. Then we have the music ministry, which is Barbara and Sandy, and they're doing a wonderful job at it. Thank you.
So if anybody can play, that would be good.
Yeah, if you play an instrument, if you play the violin, the flute, the whatever, just join in. Join in. It will make everything sound great. Then we have the things that are, you know, a little bit farther from church. We have the website. We have Tumblr. We have Instagram. We have Facebook. And we have Twitter. And Marjorie's doing the website, and I'm doing most of the other ones. And honestly, I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't know what people do on Tumblr. I've never used Twitter that much to know what people look for it. So if you know more about these than I do, please, either let me know or say, you know, I'll give it a shot. And you can do that. It takes about 5 minutes to update. You can do it on your phone. You can do it, you know, while you're on the bus. You can do it while you're waiting for your food to come in the restaurant. It doesn't take a lot of time. And we would all appreciate it. We just want to reach out to the global Anglican community, because there are a lot of resources there, and there may be people that for various reasons can't attend church. But because we make the sermons available online, or we make some prayers more available online, maybe we can help someone, maybe we can help them in some way. These are just a few of the ministries that we have here, but we have people that are working so hard for each one of them. And what I'm saying is that any help that you can give us is greatly appreciated. Any contribution that you can make would be wonderful. We need your help because we're a community. We're not lone people doing our own thing. We're doing it for a community. We always have to remember why we are here. We are here to praise the Lord with our gifts. And we each have our gifts. So if you have a gift, just let us know. And if you have new ideas, just talk to someone. I'm sure you'll find another one that will say, that's a wonderful idea, I want to help you do it. Because that's how this community was built, with people that had ideas and they had hope to do it. That's all. Together we can make the church a wonderful experience every Sunday. It is a wonderful experience now, and we can keep doing it.